So thank you so much for joining us here on Nomads 50 Plus. My name is Chris Kalaboukis, and today it's my mission to interview 1,000 digital nomads and or midlife recalibrators and or really cool people. And of course, I've known Chris for a long time. He's a really cool person, and just want to introduce you. And please introduce yourself and tell us your story.
Cool. Cool. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. My name's Chris, also Chris Daly,
So it's actually Chris squared today.
Chris squared, right? And we're going to do that. I promise you.
Chris cube. We gotta do that. C3.
That's right. And
You
then
know,
we
there
got to
have
come
been
up.
weirder shows. There have been weirder shows out there, so why not, right?
That's true. That's true. I guarantee we'll get an audience. But yeah,
At
so
least, at
I
least all
am
the Chris's.
right, right. And there's a lot of them,
Exactly. It's amazing how common a name it is.
right? Uh, but yeah, now who am I? I'm just a dude, right? I am
You're
a
just a dude.
storyteller. Yeah, I'm a storyteller, a podcaster, an AI guy, a futurist, a traveler, just a guy trying to live his life.
Well, so you've been doing how long have you been podcasting? Have you been
Well,
podcasting since '05? Just the same
oh
as me.
four actually. So
'04.
it depends on who you ask. I was either the fifth or the sixth person to podcast. So
Nice.
been doing it a while. Yeah.
So what made you want to do it?
It's like anything. I love tech. I've always
Mm,
loved tech and I always loved business. So I thought, this is cool. Let me see if there's a business model behind it. So I literally started several shows at once just to test the model to
hmm
see, hey, what can I do with this? I started a hyper local one, which was I was in Houston at the time called This Week in Houston. I did a regional one called Lone Star Gridiron, which covered Texas high school football, which
Nice.
is an easy sell in Texas, right?
It's like
And
you had
then
no trouble finding demand for that one.
oh, exactly. I mean, nobody knew what a podcast was, but they knew what Texas high school football was. So they're like,
Exactly.
okay, I'll click it. Uh, so
Wait,
yeah, I
does it
just
have to do with Texas high school football? What is this technology? I've never heard of it. I'm gonna
uh,
learn it
I'm
because I
going
want
to
to
learn
know.
it just because I want to know about that. Yeah. So yeah, and that one's still going and producing probably I don't know the lion's share of our income.
Wow,
Because it has
fantastic.
grown explosively.
So you are probably one of the only people I know who's actually a full-time podcaster, and you can actually make a full-time income from it. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. And is it so what's your secret? Because people are asking, people are like, I want to do podcasting too. I would love to be a podcaster. I would love to be able to
Yeah.
make a full-time income from podcasting. What did you do that worked?
Well, it's really not difficult if you have a plan.
Mm.
Um, I didn't have a plan when I started other than to learn, so I didn't make any money at the
But that's
beginning.
actually a good way to start without a
Yeah,
plan, because then you can
exactly.
see what comes back at you, like, oh, this worked, this didn't work, and then you keep pivoting until you find something that works.
That's it exactly, and, on that show, advertising became a big chunk of it, but then later, podcasting services now is a big chunk of what we do, helping people launch, grow, and monetize their own shows,
Mm,
and then find, like I said, monetization methods for them. We can work in collaboration with them, or we can just say, "Hey, pay us, we'll educate you, you go live your life and be happy." Uh,
yep.
so yeah, it's whatever works.
So you started off by creating the content, and then when did you pivot to helping other people do their content?
Oh, it was quite a while. It was probably after Apple iTunes came out when
Mm,
with the first big surge, right?
right.
And that's when
Apple Podcasts. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, when that first came out, the thing exploded, and it was well before Serial and all the other that later surge. But when I saw wow, there's a pretty big audience, then I said, okay, let me approach some advertisers. And what I discovered early on is you can't go to the big companies. You couldn't then
Mhm.
because they were like, I don't trust this. But you could go to
Never
small
heard of it.
companies. Right, exactly. And so suddenly small companies, small musicians were making money, because we were doing a music show too. And they realized, forget the big guys. The little
Mm,
guys can do it all themselves. And again, after a while, the big guys go, "Wait, what's going on over here? There's a lot of money
Yeah,
changing
they gotta
hands."
they suddenly got interested real fast, right?
Right, right. So, yeah, we just kinda pivoted once we saw there was a big audience.
Right. So since you've been doing it for what, 20 years now? Oh,
22 now.
22 years. So 22 years.
Yeah.
So why don't you like go over the course of these 22 years, like what changes have you seen and what's good and what's bad?
Well, and I'm biased here, but I've got some studies to back it up.
Mhm.
True podcasting is audio,
Mm.
audio only. Video casting is a different beast, and it's okay. It doesn't bother me anymore that people call that podcasting. It used to.
No, I'm with you. I've always thought audio. In fact, I actually prefer audio as a medium because I think it's more intimate than
Yeah,
video. And you can listen to do other things while you're listening to it, and you can get because you really the audience's imagination has to be part of it,
yeah.
right?
Well,
Whereas if it's
yeah, if you look at a movie versus a book, the book is
yeah,
always better because
yeah,
it involves this,
yeah,
you know?
or the audiobook or those types
Right.
of things. It's kind of like you have to involve yourself in the story. You have to
Yeah,
involve in yourself in the content. Whereas with video, it's just you just sit back. It's a sit back, it's a lean back and
right,
absorb experience. It doesn't really make you think unless it's really, really good programming,
right.
right? But a lot of times, it's not the same kind of programming. So I do prefer audio podcasts myself.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and
you're
and
absolutely right.
and there I mentioned stats, there's some stats to back it up.
Mm,
Ad Age or one of those, big ad companies has discovered that a conversion on a call to action on audio only versus video is 4 times higher.
mm,
And it's just for that reason. I am connected with that host because they're in my brain.
right.
I'm not looking at what's on your back shelf now. I'm
That's
not
right.
getting distracted.
That's right. Yeah, my bike shelf has always been very distracting.
Right. And I would have put a backdrop on, but I've got like this big blank room right now.
So what I remember what happened personally. It's kind of like this. Obviously, it's gone through a lot of cycles since, but I
Yeah,
remember podcasting, audio podcasting took off. Well,
yeah,
actually, was starting to take off, and then YouTube came along and went slap.
yeah.
Kind of smacked it down a bit. Everybody who wanted to get into podcasting started either migrating to video or they also did video at the same time. But the audience seemed to have like shift to
Mhm.
video. There was a lot of audience shifting to video, and I felt like we as podcasters, audio podcasters, were kind of left behind in
Well,
that
I
particular.
didn't see the numbers dropped. What I saw
Yeah,
was the attention shift.
right.
So you're right, their audiences grew much quicker, but,
Yeah,
we didn't lose any audience on any of our shows when that
yeah,
happened.
yeah. But so, what was your secret to not lose audience on your shows? Is it because of your really compelling content, or because of local focus, or what was it?
It's because my pretty face. Oh, wait, it's audio. No.
This is audio, man. They say you have a face for
No.
radio, right? I have a face for radio.
Right. No, no, it was actually, the secret is what I close every podcast with and have for 10,000 plus episodes. Keep it real. That's how I
Mm,
end every one, and because, when you get in the video world, people are worried about presentation, and they're a
yep,
little more structured and a little more like fake news and a little you
yep,
know,
yep,
whereas, we're having a conversation, we're being extremely real. I'm
yeah.
gonna flub a few things, you're gonna say things wrong, we're gonna leave it in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I like. I also do very minimal editing when it comes
Yes.
to that. So what ended up happening to me is that I was doing my audio podcast, and then when at some point I just said, you know what, I'm just going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to expand the footprint. And it's like I'm going to do video and audio as well. So
Yep.
I'll record it as a video and I'll post it to YouTube, but then I'll strip out the audio and I'll make that the audio podcast. But
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that like dilutes the value of it at all, or is it just okay to be on both platforms?
No, not at all. I think it's a in fact, I recommend it to all my clients is, look, you should record it on Zoom or Riverside or Substack, or you should record it somewhere visually.
Right.
Uh, even if you don't use the visuals, if you don't put
Mm,
them to YouTube, you don't publish them on Substack,
right,
um, use those as clips, and those
right.
clips will drive traffic to your audio. The audience on audio is going to be bigger,
Hmm.
again, unless you're Beyonce and you're, spinning, twirling fiery batons, you'll get more on video then.
So sort of YouTube hit and it sort of sucked attention away from audio podcasts, there was like a period of time where I felt it was kind of lay fallow for a bit. Like there wasn't a
Mm.
lot of interest in podcasts because everybody was hopping onto YouTube and the hot new thing. And then when did you see things back around to audio again?
Well, I never saw that fallow period. It again, it wasn't growing as fast, but since that was my focus and I was in it full time,
Mm,
you know, I I waited and waited and waited to get out on YouTube. I mean, I
right.
put it off. I fought it. Uh, so,
You probably
so I
did.
was
You
like,
were very smart at that.
well, no, that was a mistake. I should have been early on YouTube too. Instead,
Okay.
I was a curmudgeon in the corner going, "Ah, we don't need no video." But yeah, I mean, I keep thinking, "Wow, I could have been Mr. Beast."
Yeah, that's right. I can see you as him.
Oh, well. So, yeah, I just kept plugging away, and, everybody talks about, "How did you know to get into this? How did you know to get into that?" The things that worked out were dumb luck. The things that didn't were evidence
Wait a
that
minute,
I'm
you're
not
not
a
claiming
genius.
survivorship bias, are you? Because you just happen to.
Right.
So you stayed with the local. It sounds like you had two local podcasts, and then when did you start pivoting to producing podcasts for others?
Uh, that just came about after doing a few conventions where I realized, I was asked to be a speaker to explain how to do it.
Hmm.
Uh, and I had always done it, so I'm like, "Oh, this is easy."
Yeah,
But realized to a lot of people it's not easy.
yeah.
So that opened up some conversations. "Hey, can you help me?" "Okay, I can help you." And after I helped a few people, I'm like, "Yeah, I should put this on my website that we can help people."
Mm.
And so it just came about because, the opportunity.
And what year? When was that? Like, how far into it were you at that time?
I am horrible at time. I really am.
Was that like 10 years ago or five or
No,
like?
I literally will tell my wife, "You remember? Oh, wow, we saw that movie. That was like 6 months ago." She goes, "No, that was 4 years ago." And I'll say, "I remember years ago we did this." She goes, "No, that was last week."
Yeah,
So
I know.
so
I'm really bad at it
I have
myself.
no clue.
So but how long have you been doing the helping then? It's like 10 years or 5 years or?
Oh, probably longer than that.
Yeah.
It's from 12 or 15, somewhere in there. Yeah.
And has most of your income now switched to that side of the business, or are you still?
Um, yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's pretty close because, like
Mm,
I said, Lone Star Gridiron still makes a big chunk, and it is. We have shifted the model a little bit, so now we're helping schools do their shows.
oh,
Uh,
really? Cool.
yeah, yeah, and so,
Is that a big market?
well, I don't know. I mean, we keep finding customers. Like I said, it's not a huge market. I don't have a 100-person company or 1,000 people in employ. I pay for my farm out in the country, and I pay for 10 employees. But you know, I
Wow,
don't know how to
that's
define big.
huge.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
huge. Most podcasters I know are just like solopreneurs sitting
yeah.
in their garages, doing their thing.
Well, and I was for a long time until I got married, and then that
Then
was
your wife
so.
said, "I don't want you spending all of your time on this."
Right. She's like, "I can't get behind this. We make no money for months, and then you get a check for $20,000." It drives me nuts, so I had to make it a business.
Yeah, yeah. So we've had a question here. It's like, what does it mean to be a producer on a podcast? Are you writing scripts for clients, or what exactly does it entail?
We do it à la carte, so it's whatever you need. There are some clients who want us to do everything from provide the host to the edit and the social media distribution, but, uh, yeah, a producer generally will will kind of lay out the flow of things, help you work on maybe the season structure, maybe who the guests are, maybe help you find guests. Again, if you're doing a guest, type format, um, but then also make sure that the thing gets edited correctly and it gets distributed through the RSS feed and through all the podcatchers out there. So that's one of those terms. It's like in Hollywood, executive producer is just somebody who gave 'em money. They don't really
Yeah.
do anything.
Yeah.
But a producer does a whole lot of things, so
That's right. So do you like it seems like a really high touch business, right? Because I mean,
yeah.
you got to talk to so somebody will come to you and say, "Hey, I want to do my a podcast on some
Mhm.
topic." So you've got to sit down with them and go, "Okay, well, what exactly are you thinking about doing? How often do you want to do it?" You go through the whole process. Do you also help with sort of picking the music, selecting, but you already know which platforms to go on. Do you also help them sort of select equipment and all that
Yeah.
stuff? I mean, like how far does it go?
Yeah, we've got on our website, we've got our podcast launch, right? And it starts with kind of a discovery call where we sit down with you for an hour and we kind of figure out what's your vision? Why are you doing this? Are you doing it because you really love Game of Thrones and you want to be the podcaster who does a Game of Thrones? I'm dating myself, right?
He's not that old.
I just say because I don't
Although
watch TV.
if he would just put out more books, that'd be great.
There you go. But but yeah, and then we'll discuss, the formats. Is it going to be a solo show? Are you going to be a talking head? Are you going to have guests? Is it going to be a roundtable? And then we really dig into the avatar of who the audience is.
Mm,
Let's define it as nailed down as we can, so you know who you're talking to. Uh, and most of this is just a psychology conversation to
right,
get into their head of, why what they're trying to accomplish. Because if they just say, I want to start a podcast, I may help them build this amazing podcast, but it's not what they pictured and the whole thing crashes and burns. And
right.
we'll talk about things like, the frequency of the show, the duration of an episode, the commitment of how much work that is.
Yeah,
And how they can, batch things, how they can record 10 episodes, and if it's a weekly, they're done for 10 weeks,
yeah.
That's an eye opener for a lot of people.
So I'm assuming you do all the variations from I just want to record it and drop it with you, and
Yep.
you do everything, to I want you to show me how to do everything on my own.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and
but
anything in
the
between.
time we're done with our podcast launch, which leaves them with their first episode finished with outros, with intros, with background music, with commercial spots, with edited, they'll know how to do all of it. If they want to learn it, we'll give
Right,
it all to them and say, "Have a good life, enjoy it. We'll talk if you want to do something in the future." But 99% of them, like, "Yeah, I really don't like this editing part. I really don't like, creating the show notes or whatever it is." And
right.
so again, à la carte, whatever they want us to do.
So do you find that most of them, like when they come to you, are they mostly like business type podcasts where they actually want to monetize, or are they sort of vanity projects where people are like, I just want to get my name out there?
Yeah, that has shifted because early on it was just vanity stuff,
Mm,
or a passion project where they
right.
they were the Game of Thrones fans,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, and they never wanted to make
Hey,
a
there might
penny
still
from
be a lot of money in Game of Thrones fans. I mean, there's plenty of them out
That's
there,
right. I'm
going
gonna
with
bring it back.
speculation on the next book and when's the next series
But
coming and blah blah
but a
blah.
a lot of what I do in my marketing business is tell people what mediums work best,
Mm,
and right now the most cost effective medium for ROAS or return on ad spend is podcasting. It
wow.
beats billboards, it beats social media, it beats television, radio, influencers, all of it. So that's where I'm pointing people now is look, if you want to get your business out there, you should either be a guest on shows, have your own show, or at the very least, advertise on some shows.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then we take it from there. So I'm finding more and more are business focused.
Well, that's cool. And then do they understand that the amount of commitment required to
Well,
keep a podcast going? Because you know how many have
maybe
faded, right?
I was gonna say, maybe not initially, but that's part of that first hour of, we're gonna drill into you what this takes.
Right, right. And then, you're saying that most of them are now monetizable, or and then
Mhm.
you show them how to monetize it, or
Yeah. Yeah, like we had a new one, a couple older gentlemen in their 70s and 80s that, grew up in South Texas as sports writers and broadcasters, and they've got a ton of stories, you know?
oh,
M
fantastic.
Yeah, I met them through some other sports thing, and they said, "Hey, we wanna do this show that relives these tales, true or otherwise,"
Oh my God, I
you know?
love it.
And I thought, "What's cooler than a couple old men sitting around talking sports stories?" And they said, "Look, we just wanna tell our stories. We're getting old, we don't want these stories to die. Yeah, if we get an advertiser, that's great, but we don't really need it." But, they're like 5 episodes in now, and now they're talking about who could advertise there.
Once they see those numbers going up and how much time they're
Yeah.
spending on it, it's the same thing.
Yep.
It's kinda like when my first podcast, I hooked up with Podshow. Remember Podshow? It
Yeah,
was the
yeah, yeah,
company that, actually helped you get advertisers for your show. And, at one point, they were paying me a decent amount of income, uh, to do this show. So I thought, "Oh, I better keep on doing this because 'cause I'm actually making something out of it." And of course, the wife was happy at the time, so we're good. And then all of a sudden, they just went belly up,
yep.
taking all my content with them, and I'm like, "Damn, what am I gonna do now?" So I kinda lost the will to live for a while and then stopped and then started a completely different show. And but nowadays, the motivation is completely different, right? It's completely different.
Yeah, well, again, it depends. There are still people like us, at the beginning that way. Uh, but yeah, right now, the majority of people getting involved are getting involved as a business.
Mm. And these are people who already have pre-existing businesses, or are they sort of coaches and consultants who wanna launch something, or
Yeah, yeah, it depends. There a lot of coaches and consultants, have a business already. So what they wanna do is be in charge of their brand, and rather than spend ad dollars on other places, they wanna create their own. Uh,
right.
but most of them do have a business already. They're not,
Mm,
like, saying, "I wanna start from scratch." I had, a client who was sorta starting a new thing. He had created and sold a couple of businesses. He was doing well. He wanted to get on stage and start doing public speaking.
mhm,
And he approached me about helping him do that, and I said, "What would help you in public speaking, get used to speaking and build an audience, you should have a podcast."
right.
Uh, and so, of course, he started a podcast, and now he's getting booked on stages. So it took almost a year for him to start getting paid gigs, but
Yeah,
that's short. That's really short.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's another thing. I think people really underestimate how much time it takes for
Yeah,
something to actually stick, right?
yeah.
Because they do, like, 4 episodes and they go, "Ah, nobody's listening."
Right,
Like,
"Yeah,
"What?"
this didn't work." I'm like, "No, you didn't start yet, really." That's true.
So what would you say is the biggest difference between when podcasting first started and today? Like, are things still on the upswing? Are there more and more podcasts being founded every day? Because so many of them have just sort of faded now.
Yeah,
And I mean, if you go to Spotify and you just search podcasts, there's what, millions? There
yeah,
must be
yeah.
millions of podcasts. And I think there's a huge percentage of them, at least half of them who are just gone. They're just dead.
Right,
Like nobody's
right.
published in at least a year or even longer. I mean, I'm assuming there's people stopping every day, but there's also people starting every day. So where do you see the trajectory of where podcasting is going?
Yeah, I still see it growing. I mean, it is growing. It it's misleading if you look in the directories, the Spotifys and the Apple, directory and places like that because they're not getting rid of the the ones that have faded. So it really
I
looks
know,
like
and
it's
it's like
growing.
you really can't, right? It's like I remember
Right.
walking into a record store. What remember what record stores, right?
Yeah, I've heard of those.
And you walk into a record store and you think to yourself, "Wait a minute, this has to continually expand because
Yeah.
there's never going to be less content." because people will going to need more because they'll not only they'll they want the older records, they'll want new records and more new
Yep.
records. And like so your record store will basically expand to the size of a city block and larger
Right.
because there's always more content being created,
Yeah.
right? And in the case of digital content, of course, there's no reason to remove anything. It's not,
Right.
you're not really
Right.
saving any space or bandwidth because there's some podcasts that stopped uh, producing 4 years ago. The content might still be relevant for somebody,
Right.
right? So
Well,
there's
and
nothing
and
stopping
and
them from having it out there.
one of the things I tell, advertisers or potential advertisers is just that, because I've got episodes of Lone Star Gridiron, from 2005 that
Hmm.
still get listened to. So,
Wow.
if you put in I don't know why, 'cause this is very timely information, but some reason it still gets downloaded,
Yeah.
and I tell people, "Look, yeah, buy this ad. It's gonna be there forever."
Yeah, exactly. Would you ever go back and listen to your original episodes and go, "Oh my God, it was
Oh,
awful.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's
Can't
been a
believe
while
what I
since I've
put out
listened
there."
to the real old ones, but you're right. I was like, "Wow, who is that kid?"
And the intro music and stuff like that, I'm like, "Oh my God, what was I thinking?"
Right, exactly, exactly.
So, you said you mentioned a bunch of different kinds of podcasts earlier. So, like, which ones would you say are the most popular? Like, what people like? There's the interview shows, and then there's the
Yep.
talking heads, and then there's the roundtables. Which ones would you say are the most popular nowadays?
Easily, it's the interview style
Mm,
because as humans, we all our knowledge has been passed on through stories.
right.
And so there's nothing cooler than to sit around listening to people tell stories. My dad used to spend a lot of time at the bar, right? And as a kid, he would take me with. This is so incorrect these days, right? He would take
Of
me with.
course.
I'd sit in the corner, and he would hold the entire bar attention with stories. He was such a
Mm.
great storyteller. And I was, like, fascinated by it, and so that's why I've always loved telling stories. I don't think I'm nearly as good as he was, but
You got
man,
the
I
genetic material right in there. You must have
right,
something.
but people love it. People love to hear a story. That's why, Once Upon a Time perks you up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of stories, why don't you tell us the story of one of your most successful uh, customers? You don't have to talk about who they
Sure.
are, but how it went from beginning to end.
Um, Trying to figure out how to do this without mentioning who they are. Uh, well, okay, so in high school sports in Texas, um, there are some governing bodies, right? And one of the reasons why our first big show, Lone Star Gridiron, did well was because in all our stories, all our podcasts, we never said anything negative about anybody. We
Mm,
could have gotten more hits, we could have got more downloads because we knew about the that got busted for pot, or the teacher that did something wrong. We knew these stories, but we're cheerleaders for the sport, right?
yeah, got to
Um,
keep it optimistic.
right. And so these governing bodies paid attention,
Mm,
and one of them came to us and said, "Hey, can you help us do a podcast? We
mm,
love the idea. We want to share our message with the world." And that's one of those that I knew how big this governing body was and how important it was. It's the largest such body in the world, and the
wow,
audience is huge.
wow.
And I said, "Yeah, I'll do it if I can be the host." One, I believed in it, right?
Yeah.
but
Well,
but
it was
two, I
it's
knew
part
it
one
was
of your passions, right? So
yeah,
why not?
exactly, and I knew it was my audience, it was my people, so I wanted to get my name out there, and first they said, "Okay," and so I did it at a bargain basement price just because I knew it would be valuable,
Yeah. Well, you
and
also want to get in there too, so that was very
right,
important.
exactly, that's totally it, and so they're like, "Okay," we negotiated for a while, and I just kept lowering the price, "Okay, okay, I'll do it," and, and
I
the
don't
the
care how much this costs as long as I'm in there being the
right, "How much
host.
do I have to pay you to be your host?"
Exactly.
And so I ended up put the show out, first season came out, rave reviews, coaches all over the world love this show. And
Fantastic.
and then they said, well, we should take you up on that idea about monetization. And I helped
That
them
didn't take
reach out.
long.
Right, exactly. And now that show makes them quite a bit of money, and it grows their audience. And now, it sounds like bragging, but there's tens of thousands of coaches around, obviously Texas, but around the country, around the world, who will answer when I call now. So
Nice.
I
Nice.
love that.
Would you say that that was like one of your biggest lucky breaks or
Yeah. Oh, easy,
yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
And well, I had written a book about the retiring director of this organization too.
Mm.
His whole life
Oh,
story.
you were already in there. Oh.
Right. So they all kind of knew me, but they really got to know me. And now, actually, that's where I'm heading this week is to a big convention um, where they have set up a room. We have cameras, we have lights, we have
Are you gonna do
everything.
live podcasting from there? That's
We're not going to
great.
live, but we're going to record a boatload of interviews with coaches.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, we'll do
Fantastic.
about 100 of
Content for
those.
years. I love it.
Exactly, exactly.
So one of the great things about doing this is that it's location independent, right? So you could
Yeah,
be anywhere in the world. And do you normally speak to your clients remotely, or do you
yeah.
ever talk to them in person?
Rarely in person. I mean, it is I don't even think half of 1% in person.
Really?
Most of it is remote. Again, since most of the shows are audio, I can do them on my phone. I can
Right.
do them on my computer. I can do it on Zoom. I can do it wherever.
And the quality is
Uh,
okay for the audio?
but
I mean,
yeah, yeah. Though, I mean,
yeah.
there's some tools. I don't know if you remember the tool Levelator.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I use it all the time.
I still use that thing. It is so perfect. There's no buttons, there's no settings, you
Yeah, it's
just
just like drag and
do it.
drop, boom. It works.
Yes. Yeah, and it cleans up so much. It's so
Oh yeah.
good.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah,
It things have come a long way on the tool front about
yeah,
how much easier
yeah,
it is to actually to do a podcast. And I know editing sucks whichever way you slice it,
right.
right? But at the same time, you kind of want the authenticity of just doing something like this, where you just put it all out there, and even if there's some M's and ahs and other
Yeah,
things, it's fine because it's authentic, it's real.
right on.
So let's say so a lot of my listeners are people who are digital nomads. They want to think about starting location independent businesses.
Yeah.
Is this still a good time to start a business as either a podcaster or as someone who produces podcasts for other people?
I think it's a real good time. Like I said,
Mm.
it's growing. It's growing exponentially still, and I don't throw that term out like marketers throw it out. Not everything's growing
But you're a
exponentially.
marketer. Come on.
I am a marketer, but I know, and I tell my wife all the time, I hate marketers. Like, you are
You're the
one.
unmarketer, like the
That's right.
uncola.
That's right. But yeah, I think it's a good time, especially to start your own show,
Mm,
because I think where things are going is everybody will have a brand, everybody will have a voice, whether or not you have a business. You're already known more by your social presence than you are by the people you physically shake hands with. So,
right.
yeah, I think it's just going to continue.
And then give us some realistic timelines. So if you are a podcaster or you become a podcaster, so somebody talks to you and says, "I want to create a podcast. I want to build my brand." How long would you think it would take? And like over like how many episodes over how much period of time would it take to actually for something to actually click?
It
Like we were talking
depends
about
on
earlier, we were joking about like 4 episodes and I'm done. Like
right.
how long would you say like what's a more realistic timeline?
Well, it depends on your definition of click. Is
Mm,
click, you get a lot of downloads. Is click, you get a bank account boost? You know, does it get you in a room that you've been trying to get in? So that one's hard to answer. I mean, I could say, yeah, 13.2 episodes, but that doesn't
yeah,
mean anything
exactly.
because it also varies based on your commitment to it.
Right.
Maybe the people you're working with, the tools you have. There's so many variables that I've seen it click with 2 episodes. I've seen
Wow.
it click with well, I've seen it not click, 400 episodes in.
Wow.
They're still trying because 'cause they're doing it
Wow.
all wrong.
Well, that's the thing. Actually, it's interesting you should mention that because it's kind of like I've always thought that originally it used to be the craft was the thing, but
Yeah.
now the craft is easy. It's the marketing of the thing that's the problem. So I
Mhm.
mean, once you get your podcast up and running and you post it on all the where do you go? You go to Spotify, you go to Apple Podcasts, a few other places. Once it's
Yeah.
up there, you still have to let people know that it exists. So I mean,
Exactly.
that's the real heavy lift now, isn't it? The marketing of your podcast.
Yeah, yeah, the sharing of episodes and clips on your socials and, the guesting swaps, getting on other people's shows. I mean,
Mm.
I will get a listener or 2 out of this for sure, you know? Uh,
For
and when
sure.
you
Well,
were on my
we
show
want to start getting your Substack up and running because you don't have that many
that's
subscribers
true,
though.
I my
We need
Substack
more people to
sucks, so
subscribe to you.
so please follow the Substack, that's another one I got laid into.
Yeah, but see, the beauty of it is like once you've built an audience though, it's
Yeah,
transportable,
right,
right? It's kind of like people complain on Substack, oh, so and so showed up, like Andrew Tate showed up, and he
yeah,
brought like a million subscribers immediately, and you're like,
yeah.
so that's exactly
He
what's going
had
to happen.
those, yeah.
He already had that audience.
Yeah,
Right? And people are like, "Oh." Well, on one hand, that some of them like don't like the guy, but
right,
other people are like, "Oh, well, why do they have to have so why, I'm struggling to get my 1,000 subscribers and here he brings in 100,000 in one day." It's like, yeah, it's Mr. Beast. It's, Andrew Tate.
exactly,
It's somebody big with a huge audience somewhere else
yeah,
and they just move them here. So once you've built that audience, it's really portable. You can take it
yeah.
anywhere you want because there's a lot of people who want, that's the real trick is building the audience, right?
And it's the simple things that they overlook, like on my show, The Marketing Drive. I haven't mentioned my Substack yet. I
Yeah,
should, but I haven't.
but you've already got a huge audience elsewhere,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
eventually they'll come to your Substack as soon as they hear, "Oh, Chris has got a Substack. Oh, well,
Oh,
I'm
let me
there,"
check it
right?
out. Yeah, yeah,
So is that the secret in the end? Is like building an audience with no matter what platform you're on, no matter what you're doing, as long as
yeah,
you can build an audience, once you've built that audience, no matter which platform you built it on, that's sort of like your ticket to some podcast success, really.
yeah. And that's why Substack works so well because it connects to emails.
Yes.
And as your email list is everything.
Yeah.
People who will open your email list anyway.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, you could have a big list full of, really bad emails, but
Yeah, exactly. So have you explored like the different podcast tools on Substack at all?
I have not. I've looked around a very little bit. Like I said, I am a babe in the woods in Substack,
Yeah.
and looking to remedy that.
Yeah, because one of the things I found interesting about it is that they seem to have also added the ability to podcast and do videos from the same platform. So it's
Yeah,
almost like a unified platform for everything. So not only can you do emails, you can also do record and upload podcasts into it.
yeah.
And you can also record and upload videos into it. And then it's got an automatic connection to YouTube. So you could conceivably use it as a complete front end to all of your content.
Yeah, and I've seen there's connections with Spotify as well, and
Yeah.
that gets, me thinking, "Okay, well, right now Spotify's seeing my RSS feed off of my WordPress.
Yeah.
Do I start another one here? Do I somehow reconnect things?" So,
Yeah.
that's
It
what
gets
I'm
all
digging
complicated
into.
underneath, right?
Yes, yeah, and that's why I get paid to fix these things for my clients.
So, like the stack of today would be to sort of you record your podcast. You don't record it live typically. Typically, you don't record it live. You record it, and then maybe you do some minimal editing. You add your intros and your
Right.
outros, and you package your MP3 file and get it ready. And then your hosting provider of choice is who?
We host the actual files on Libsyn. We don't
Libsyn.
we don't
They're
use
still
Libs
around? My God, they've been
they
around
are.
forever.
They were '05. I've been a client of theirs since. And and we don't use their distribution and all that. We literally just it's a place to sit the file.
Right. So you sit the file in Libsyn, and then you go out to all the different networks and go, "Hey, I'm here." So
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Yeah,
who else
we
is
tell people feed your RSS feed, and if for people who don't know, the RSS feed, really simple syndication, is what all those podcatchers read. Every time
right,
you put a new podcast out, it creates an entry. Spotify sees a new entry, grabs a file.
yeah,
But we tell people, how's that on your website?
mm,
There's a lot of Buzzsprouts and things like that where you can house things on their websites,
yeah,
and that's dangerous. Anytime you trust somebody else's platform,
yeah,
uh, so I tell them, "Put it on your website, you can control it, you take all the traffic to your website, and if you house the files on something like a Libsyn or a AW3 or something like that, then you're not getting the bandwidth bang for the file itself,
right.
but you are the SEO source, which is where you want." So that's what we tell people.
So and then there are what, like 20, 30, 40 different aggregators out there? There's tons of them, right?
There's
I
a
mean,
ton. Yeah, I don't even
yeah.
know how many.
And do you then send the feed to all of those aggregators? Say,
You
"Hey,
don't have to, you
here's."
send to the major ones and the rest go spider it and steal it. I mean, you can add it. It's quicker if you add it, but most of them will just find it. And,
Right.
you know, I don't obviously, there's nothing illegal about them grabbing your RSS feed and putting it on their site,
Yeah.
which is why they all do it. So I say, yeah, let the smaller ones do their gig and don't spend your time setting up an
Yeah.
account on them.
So and then but you do all of that work for your clients most of the
Right,
time, right?
right.
Unless it's like the one and done.
Yeah, almost 100% of the time we will even the initial setup, because it includes that first episode, we do all that setup, and then from that point on, they don't have to deal with RSS. They do have to create an entry on their WordPress if they wanna do it, but
Do you ever get a customer who talks to you and says, "Well, this is exactly what I want. I want to host on Spotify. I want to do this," or are most of them like, "Oh, I bow to your greater wisdom," and you just
well,
say, what?
no one ever has called me wise, but they have deferred to my background without the bowing. But, most of the time, they're clueless. They have no clue, and they really just want help. But
Nice thing to say about your potential clients. Come on,
that's right. Well, no, they're
most of the
they're
time.
not dumb, they're ignorant.
That's an even better word. I love it.
Look it up. It just means you don't have
It's
the
like tough
info.
love. You need my help. You're ignorant. You need my help. I'm not saying that
I
you're
didn't say
stupid.
stupid, I didn't say dumb. No,
I love
no,
that.
I get it. There are so many things I'm ignorant about,
Yeah.
that I
Same.
defer to people. Yeah.
So you're saying that now is a good time. So if somebody were to do this, and I know we don't have much time left, but so somebody out there listening to this going, I want to do this for a living.
Mhm.
So what would be the first step that they would take, that they should take?
Well, I would start by starting their own podcast, so
Right.
they know what the heck they're talking about,
Right.
so they're not ignorant.
So they actually get
Yeah.
into
Once they
creating
know
a
the back
podcast.
end of how it works, then they can help people.
Right. And
So,
do you like have a course or anything like that for people to do that, or do you just?
no, not really. Everybody has said, "Hey, you should put together all this." I don't have time,
Yeah.
and I know I should, but no, I don't have a course on that. Instead, I am available to assist, and,
Hmm.
I tell people, and I've told people this for years, information is free. I will give you all the information you want. The only
Right.
time I get paid is when I do some work.
Right. So if somebody wants to build their podcast on their own, they could talk to you and you could
Yeah,
help them build it.
yeah,
And then once they've done first start by doing your own podcast, figure it all out. And then once they figured it all out, then they can look at, okay, well, now how do I do this for others?
right,
Right. So they have to
exactly.
go through that process.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And then still the key is marketing in the end.
Of
Right.
course, that's what it comes down to, and that's where they have to, look internally and decide, am I a content creator, a broadcaster? Am I a marketer? Am I a salesman?
Right.
What are my skills? What are my passions?
Right.
and then partner with the people who do the other things.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly right. So it sounds as if, like, one last question. It's like, if I were to be starting a podcast today, where would be my biggest bang for the buck to market my podcast?
Um, Again, I'm sorry, I don't have pat answers like that
Come on,
because
you're the
'cause it
expert.
it totally depends on the podcast, you know, because yes, and to stretch the the theme here, if it's gonna be about Game of Thrones, find a Game of Thrones Facebook page. But if it's gonna be about sports, go to sports sites, and it really depends on find where your audience is.
Right, right. So
Yeah,
it's the same as everything, right? It's like, go where
exactly.
the audience is, identify the
Yeah,
audience, and then go where the audience is. And then I just remembered not one more question, so I hope you have a little bit more time. It's
of
like,
course.
the one thing that you mentioned AI earlier, and we haven't talked about AI at all.
Yeah.
But where do you see AI digging into this space? Do you think it's actually going to make things better, worse? Like, are people going to be replacing podcasts with
Well,
AI? Where do you
I've
see
got
it?
one show called AI Assembled where I use AI to compile the top AI stories of the week.
Hmm.
And it's got my intro, my outro. Again, I use an AI to do it in my voice. And that's
What,
an
record
experiment.
your voice and have it do your voice?
No, I trained it. 11 labs I used,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
I
You use
trained it
11.
on my
Yeah, I did
voice,
that
and
too.
I wrote the script. Yeah, and so it does the intro and the outro in my voice, and the
Nice.
reporters are just other voices. But that's pretty cool, but people can still tell it's AI,
Oh, for
and
sure.
and on purpose, I tell them, "This is AI."
Yeah,
Uh,
of
I'm
course.
not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes, but at the end of the day, AI will help in areas like editing,
Hmm.
uh, but just like you and I have mentioned many times of how you should keep it real and leave some ums and ahs in there,
Yeah,
AI is not good at that. So
yeah,
it's going to try to edit, old school style.
exactly.
So again, I don't use it for editing at all. I know a lot of people who do, but I have a VA who will do. He knows exactly what I want, you know, and I could probably train an AI eventually, but you know, I I,
Yeah,
I don't think it's there yet.
you're not keeping it real in that one. You got to keep it real, man. This is
That's
great.
right. That's right. My VA is real.
Yeah, exactly. So this is great. Somebody wants to get in touch with you. What's the best way? So not that Substack yet, but you have other
Yeah.
places.
Yeah. Freshmediaworks.com is the home for a company, and it's got ways to contact. You can click on a thing, set up a free conversation, and we'll talk about it.
Fantastic. And everybody, subscribe to Chris's podcast or subscribe to Chris's Substack because he needs subscribers. Actually, we
That's
both
right.
do.
And
Why not?
and my last name, pay attention to how it's spelled. It's spelled funny. It's pronounced Daily, but it's Doelle. If you
That's right.
search Chris Daly on the web, you'll find me everywhere. So I'm easy to
Fantastic.
find.
And we will figure out, we'll do some brainstorming offline about the Chris Cubed podcast because we got to
I
do that,
agree. I
man.
think we should totally do that. And give us some feedback. Would you listen to a show called Chris Cube where Chris and Chris interviewed somebody named Chris?
That's right. Every week we interview another Chris.
I love it.
I'm
I
telling you,
love
this
it.
is going to work.
Oh, it's gonna be
All right,
big.
sir. And talk to you later. Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye bye.